What up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today, and welcome back to another tier driver introduction for all in F2 this time around. I did mention in the previous one that I did for the F1 tier that I would be doing one for the F2 tier, so here it is. So basically it's pretty similar. There's nothing much to say really. I'm just going to be giving you a rundown of all the drivers that are taking part in the F2 season. So, and I'm pleased to announce that we have actually a full grid for this whole season. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Why don't we start with Renault, who have the reigning Drivers' Champion in F2 in the form of Zombie Hunter. And I'm pleased to say that we've welcomed back DJRTP17 back into the fold for F2 this season. So let's begin with the reigning champion. And even though it does say it has number 13 on his car, he will be running the number 1 because obviously reigning champion in this class. Yeah, Zombie, what more can you say? 6th in the season 1 in the championship, 2 wins, 6 top 10s and 1 pole position. And obviously better that in season 2, going on to obviously, I mentioned, win the championship with 5 wins, 8 podiums, 13 top 10s, had 4 poles as well, and also 2 DNFs. And even though with all my dramas, he still managed to win the championship. So for Zombie, there's nothing much really to say here. I would expect him to be up there with the fighting for the championship again this season, but he is going to have a little bit of competition, not going to lie. We'll delve into that probably a little bit later with a few other drivers in this league. But like I mentioned, it's a welcome return back to AOR for DJRTP17, or better known as Penske, in car number 12 for this season. Of course, these two were teammates in a little bit of season 1 and did it in season 2, but they are back again for season 3. Now for Penske, of course, he did have his little moments, controversially blacklisted back at the Italian Grand Prix, which I still have my own thoughts about it. Whether you agree with them or not is another thing. But anyway, let's focus on the stats. Finished 9th in season 1, had 1 podium. That was at the Italian Grand Prix, funnily enough. Obviously, with the 3rd place, and 6 top 10s. Season 2, obviously, it says finished 11th in the championship, 7 top 10s, had a best race result of 4th. And also included in the blacklist. Sorry to say that, Penske, if you're watching this video. So anyway, for Penske, I think it'd be definitely fighting in the top 10 for sure in the championship. Constructors, for these guys, I would think now that Zombie has a bit of help now with Penske, these guys should be up there with the top battling for the Constructors' Championship this season. Not sure possibly whether they could win it, because there are a few combos that could possibly win it as well, but they'll be up there somewhere. Like I did mention, there are a few combos that could win both the Drivers' and Constructors' Champions, and this team could possibly be one of them. Mercedes have a couple of former F1 drivers that have had to make the jump back to F2 because these guys, obviously with F1 banning all assists, and these two obviously running the racing line, have had to drop back, but they are keen to get back into the top tier. I talk about Poms for the win, 87, and Chimchar 228. Let's talk about Poms first of all. Now, of course, I think these two actually, I think they teamed up in season 1 in the Haas from memory. But anyway, for Poms, finished 9th in season 1 in F1, 6 top 10 results, and his best race result of 5th. Season 2 was probably not ideal for him, finished 12th with 9 top 10 results and a best race result of 6th place during that season. But this is another candidate, another one of the candidates that could fight Zombie for this championship. And Poms, is, like I mentioned, is really keen to get back to the top tier of AOR. Another possible candidate you could add to that is, of course, Chimchar, who, like I mentioned, is another one that's dropped back from F1 to F2. Now, looking at his results, finished 11th in season 1 in the top tier, 5 top 10 results, best race result of 5th, and season 2 finished down in 13th in the championship with 6 top 10 results, best finish of 7th twice. Of course, he had his fair share of moments as well. I believe he got caught up in a tyre barrier glitch at Singapore, but yeah, again, Chimchar, if you watch the social race that we did before the AOR season began around France, you'll know that Chimchar had definite pace there. So, like I said, these guys will probably be fighting for the Drivers' Championship, definitely. Constructors' Championship, yes, I dare say that these guys will be fighting for the Constructors' Championship as well. Who knows whether they could win it? Like I mentioned, there's probably another couple, one or two combos that could fight, but they'll be up there somewhere. Reigning Constructors Champions in Season 2 of AOR with myself and Owen's 1503. Have a new driver lineup for this season, but you'll notice that the car 29 has a different person behind the wheel. I talk about Rain 96, and he's joined, of course, by Exodono 22X. We'll start, of course, with Rain, of course. Another F1 driver that's had to drop back because of the racing line. I believe he's running, obviously the number is sort of an influence because he does follow a little bit of MotoGP. I think from memory, Andrea Giannoni runs this number, so that's the reason why he's got this number on board. But anyway, 6th in Season 1 after joining, I think, at the Italian Grand Prix from memory. He did move across back from the PS4 side to Xbox, so where have we got here? 8 top 10 finishes, best race result of a 4th, which was happened twice. Season 2, again, finished 6th in the championship, so had 1 podium and 13 top 10 results. Still yet to break through for the race win, and you could probably add that for the Mercedes boys as well, which I forgot to add. But yeah, add Rain to this long list of possible drivers' champions because he has got the speed for sure as Rain 96, and well, he'd be definitely fighting for race wins throughout this season. Exodono has been in the F2 scene for the last couple of seasons as well, and of course, like I mentioned, new combo with Rain this season. But yeah, look at his season results. Finished 11th in Season 1. Of course, joined, I think, midway through that season. Had 4 top 10 results and finished, his best result was 8th. Season 2, of course, he did the full season. He finished 7th with 4 podiums, 9 top 10s. Had, fortunately, he'd have 3 DNFs and 1 disconnect, I think, while he was leading the Malaysian Grand Prix last season. And he has had 1 pole as well. He's been close a couple of times to nabbing that first race win, but unfortunately, and I think it was Japan, he just didn't quite have enough compared to Zombie, and at Brazil, I think he may have bottled it a little bit. But yeah, like I mentioned, this is probably the 5th driver you could add to that list of candidates for the Drivers' Championship. Constructors' Championship, these guys will definitely have a red-hot go for the Constructors' Championship. They'll be battling with, obviously, Renault and Mercedes, definitely. So look out for the Ferrari boys. Hopefully they can make it back-to-back for the Ferrari team. Red Bull have a new driver lineup as well, with 1 experienced campaigner back again for Season 3 and a relative newcomer for Season 3 in league racing. I talk about Conrod Str8 and B-Dubstep 23. We'll start with Conrod, or as everybody knows him, the legendary Stave Bangham. What can I say? Most experienced guy, and I'm probably going to get hammered for this one, but the oldest guy in AOR history. I'm sorry, Conrod, if you're watching this, but it is probably true anyway. So anyway, didn't take part in Season 1 for Conrod, but did compete in Season 2. Finished 13th in the championship, 7 top 10 results. He had his best race result of 6th placing. So yeah, not really sure what to expect from Conrod. He may show a few of these younger guys how it's done, but maybe top 10 could possibly be in it there for Conrod. We'll have to wait and see. B-Dubstep, like I said, is a rookie in AOR, especially this side of things, so making his debut for this season. So I don't really have too much stats for this guy, but any stats I really have was probably results from the preseason test that they did around Germany, where he qualified in P7 and finished in P7. So not a bad result all around for B-Dubstep. But yeah, I don't really know what to expect. He probably would maybe surprise a few people along the way there's probably a couple of guys that could really spring a surprise throughout the season. But constructors, probably, I don't know. It's hard to say. Probably around probably the bottom half in the 6 to 10 position, somewhere around there for the Red Bull boys. New driver lineup as well for Force India this season in the form of my former teammate Owens 1503 and DT361X. Of course, like I mentioned before, Rain has taken Owens' number, so Owens is now gone for a different number in the form of, if you follow Supercars, you will have if you follow Simona Di Silvestro, that's what number he's pretty much running for this season. So, a season 1 champ for Owens. Obviously 4 wins, 9 podiums, and 4 poles, and went on to win the championship, of course. Season 2, when he teamed up with me, of course, he finished 5th in the standings. Wasn't ideal for him. He had a few frustrating rounds. He did take 2 wins, 4 podiums, 11 top 10 results, and 1 pole position. And, of course, won the Constructors' Championship as well. So, yeah, I don't really know what to expect with Owens. Seeing this is probably maybe a little bit of fun for him for this season. I mean, he did help out with the championship charge last season, but I think this season he's just wanting to have a little bit of fun, maybe surprise a few people with a few shock results along the way. May get the odd couple of wins and podiums, and maybe even an odd pole, but you never know. We'll have to wait and see what will be for Owens this season. DT is also another driver that's taken part in the first couple of seasons. He's had to find a new teammate this season with his former teammate Mitchie 950 making the move into the commentary box. He's put his driving career on hold for the time being. Hopefully he makes a return sometime in the near future, but he just wasn't really enjoying the game, so he's made the move to the commentary box, and obviously we're still focused on DT. So 3rd in the championship in season 1, had 3 podiums, 2 pole positions at Malaysia and Brazil, and 8 top 10 results. Season 2, with a few more drivers, finished in P8, had 12 top 10 results, had a pole, which again was Malaysia, so has good form there. Had his best race result of 4th 4 times throughout that season. So, yeah, definitely I think DT could get back on the podium for sure. Throughout the season. Wins, it's going to be a tough one. Yes, he could probably fight for wins, but yeah, I was just podiums and probably just trying to build it back and get a good result in the championship standings. So for constructors, I think, what do I think? Probably maybe a top 5 would probably do these guys well for season 3, but if they finish lower than that, probably that would call that maybe a disastrous campaign. But I think top 5 for these guys. Next few combinations have got one driver who's been in the last, couple of seasons, or even last season of AOR, and of course there's a couple of debutantes along the way. Let's start with Williams Martini Racing. That is one combination. Got Is That Matt back again for another campaign, and now we got X Still 419 teaming up with him. First off, we've got Matt, obviously debuted midway through season 1, and he had 3 top 10s in that season. Best race result was a 7th, I believe, at the Japanese Grand Prix. Season 2, definitely a breakout season for him. Finished 10th, got a podium, 12 top 10s, and a pole position at the Bahrain Grand Prix. So, if Matt has fewer internet issues, which he has been known for in the past, it could possibly be added maybe the 6th candidate to the championship fight. But if it doesn't happen, well, you probably just have to maybe try and get the odd win, maybe a couple more podiums and that, and probably try and improve his get it more inside the top 10 in the championship this season. X Still is another Kiwi to join the AOR community, and I probably mentioned it before, and as maybe one of my other videos, that probably New Zealand Ryan's probably got a lot of influencing. It had to do with the influence of the influx of Kiwis coming into this series. But yeah, this is Dill's debut season. He has raced in in the MRL Classics League that I also take part in. But going by his results of the preseason testing, he qualified P9 and finished just outside the 10 in P11 at Germany. So, yeah, don't really know what to expect from Dill. Probably another one of those guys that could just throw a surprise result along the way. But where do I think the constructors will finish? It'd be hard to put them in the top 5. That maybe 6th or 7th at best for the Williams team for this season. Another combination that has an experienced guy who's raced here in the last couple of seasons, and a rookie is the Toro Rosso guys with iKaiowas, who's raced the last couple of seasons, and Calbo Oz, who makes his debut in AOR. Let's start with Kaiowwas. Has competed in the last couple of seasons, like I mentioned, in AOR F2. Finished 8th in the championship in Season 1. Had 9 top 10s with a best finish of P5. And also had 1 disconnect from memory as well. Season 2 had 11 top 10 results, and best race result, it was 4th. I can't remember off the top of my head where that was, actually. May have been Singapore. I can't actually remember. But anyway, for Kaiowwas this season, I think he's possibly... He has been racing with assists in the past, but I think he's slowly turning them off for this season. So it's going to be hard maybe to best his best result of P4. Could surprise us with maybe the odd podium here or there, but yeah, that's probably the best I could say for Kaiowwas for Season 3. Calbo makes, like I said, he's making his debut in AOR this season, so I'm not sure whether he's had much league racing experience elsewhere, but I think he's another guy who runs with no assists, but maybe not quite quick enough at this stage. Anyway, he can definitely improve throughout the season to match up with the top guys just yet. But going by his pre-season test results, he qualified in P13 and finished the race in P13. So not too bad all round for Calbo. But constructors, I think Toro Rosso probably going to be around maybe the bottom half of the constructors, I would think. Maybe a rough guess what's left in the constructors. I think possibly maybe 8th is still available. I think, yeah, 8th for the Toro Rosso boys this season. Combo number 3 that has an experienced driver and a rookie for Season 3 of AOR. We've got the Haas team. We've got Frizy 92 and Shuri 31. Now, we'll start, of course, with car number 92 in Frizy. Of course, he did take part in, didn't take part in Season 1, but did take part in Season 2 in the Williams. Finished 15th in the championship. Had 3 top 10 results, and, well, his best race result has pretty much been 10th 3 times. And he had a good run of those, pretty much 3 consecutive the top 10s, where a few guys fortunately all crashed out, and he just was there and just picked up all the pieces there. So, yeah, not really sure what to expect for Frizy. I would think possibly he would be hoping to improve his championship position. Whether he can break into the top 10, I mean, it is possible. He might get a few surprise results as well, try and get more higher up in the top 10. But, yeah, I'd say it's probably maybe a little bit of a battle for trying to get into the top 10 for Season 3. Shuri is another debutant that joins us for Season 3 of AOR. And again, I'm not really too sure whether he's had much league racing experience before, but going by his the preseason test, qualified in P8, but unfortunately a DNF during that race. So really not much to go by there for Shuri this season. So yeah, who knows really? It could surprise another guy who could possibly surprise and get a few top 10 results and just in races and qualifying. But for these guys, constructors wise, I don't know, probably near the bottom half of the championship, I would think. I think possibly maybe P9 for these guys in the Haas. Two rookies making their debut in AOR Oceania F2 this season in the form of CattierFoil46 and Legorob101. So these guys, if you don't know already, CattierFoil, he has raced before in other leagues, mainly in SRL. Did a couple of races from memory last season, but didn't have the best results. I think he may have finished a couple of laps behind. But interesting the fact that CattierFoil is actually Zombie's younger brother. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But pre-season testing, he qualified inside top 10. Fortunately, got disqualified during the race. So again, not much to go by with CattierFoil. It'd probably be battling around the 10th or lower positions, I think, for this season, unfortunately. Legorob is another one, like I mentioned, is joining AOR for Season 3. If you go back, you have to go back a long way to find the last time he did a league race, which was, I think, the good old ASR days. So it's been a fair while between drinks for Legorob. Fortunately, he didn't take part in the pre-season test race that they had. So, yeah, he had a few good results back in ASR F3. So, yeah, probably the same thing could be said for Legorob. He could probably be battling for position-wise the same as CattierFoil. But constructors-wise, I can't really see these guys fighting it well up the top there, or even in the middle. I'd say these guys will probably finish last in the Constructors' Championship this season in the McLaren. Final full-time pairing in AOR Oceania F2. And this is the fourth combo that has an experienced driver and a rookie in the form of VSR Chicane and Top Banter 07 pairing up in the Alfa Romeo Sauber for Season 3. Now, VSR Chicane, he was formerly known as Preet Singh in Season 1 and LRT Chicane in Season 2. Of course, he's joined the esports team in VSR, so that does explain the different name change. But anyway, Season 1 took part in partially that season. Had 4 top 10 results, 1 win at Singapore from memory, and 2 podiums. And in Season 2, he did do both F1 and F2. In F2, which of course at the Belgium Grand Prix, he had 1 pole and 1 win. Then made the jump up into the F1 tier and had 3 top 10 finishes. And his best result was P9. So probably can add here Chicane to the list of guys that could fight for this championship fight, and I think that's like maybe 6 or 7 now from memory. What do we got? Yeah, probably 6 or 7 guys this season, and Chicane has done a lot of work. He only has the racing line on this season, so look out for him to maybe surprise a few people this season. Top Banter is the final debutante for Season 3 of AOR F2. Like I've already mentioned with many of the debutantes, there has been a few that had league racing experience. Others were not really too sure whether they've actually had any league racing experience before. But for Top Banter, yeah, debut season. Pre-season test, he did show a bit of pace. I've got to be honest. Probably it'd be a real surprise packet this season. Qualified in P5. Unfortunately, DNF during the race. I think he bottled it coming out of the pit lane from memory or something along those lines. But yeah, this guy could throw a good spanner in the works maybe. Could even possibly fight for the championship. Who knows? But I would think maybe a few top 10s, maybe even a few top 5s could even get onto the podium, I would think. But yeah, constructors-wise, I would think these guys would be battling it out. Going by, obviously, well, Chicane has got speed, and with the pre-season testing with Top Banter, he's got a bit of speed as well. It'd probably be fighting for maybe in the top 5 in the constructors this season. Maybe not quite the top 3 unless they have a few decent results, but definitely top 5 for this season in the Sauber. We also have 2 reserve drivers for F2 this season in the form of Str8 15, and also I've also forgot to mention another debutant in X-SWAT Logan X. Let's start with Str8 with a few of these stats. He only took part in Season 2 of F1 last season. Did the first 10 rounds, I think, before he jumped into the commentary box for F2 at the Italian Grand Prix. But yeah, not really much to delve into here, unfortunately. So he had one disconnect and one DNF. It didn't quite break into the top 10. His best race result was an 11th placing. I can't remember off the top of my head where it was. I didn't actually put that down in my notes, but yeah. One guy who definitely wants to improve his pace throughout this season for sure. X-SWAT Logan X is another debutant, like I've mentioned, which I've completely forgot about. So I do apologise to Logan about that one. But yeah, relative newcomer as well. I will point out that he has changed his gamer tag for before the first round of the championship. So he will be now known as TPR Edge. So be sure to note that all down somewhere to just make a note of it. Anyway, so he did take part in the pre-season race at Germany, qualified in P12 and finished in P9. So, you know, he could maybe throw another guy who could possibly throw a few surprises throughout the season as a reserve driver. Of course, these guys will only come in when other guys can't make it, sort of thing. So that's pretty much the reserves job for season 3. So there you have it, guys and girls. That is the full grid of the AOR Oceania F2 Xbox One League. Hopefully you enjoyed both the F1 and the F2 tier driver introductions. I certainly had a lot of fun putting these last 2 videos together. But if you did enjoy it, be sure to give it a big smash on that like button. Leave your comments down below. Let me know who you think will win the Drivers and the Constructors Championship in the F2 season. Would really like to know everybody's thoughts. Subscribe to my channel for plenty more AOR Oceania content on F1 2018, plus plenty more video gaming content as well. Of course, all my social media links will be down in the description. I'll probably leave a link as well to the AOR website if you want to go check it out, and maybe even come and sign up either for F1 or F2. We still have enough spots available if you still want to join. So anyway, but if you want to know, the live streams will be done by Captain Farah 89 and Mitchy 950, and of course we do have backup in the form of R8K 714, who was a former F2 driver himself. So whenever either one of Captain Farah or Mitchy can't make it, he'll fill in basically. So I will endeavour to try and get a highlights package out as well every single week from F2. I just feel like not leaving this tier behind, just because I've jumped up into the top tier. I don't want to leave these guys behind anyway. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it, everybody, guys and girls. But until the next time, it is goodbye, and I'll see you all next time.